us here tonight. Guide us that we make good decisions for our entire community and not just for the few. Help us to make Grants the best place in this state to live. We ask for your guidance in Jesus' name. Amen. I got 6 o'clock on the nose. Call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hicks?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Quintana?
Here.
Councilor Sandoval?
Here.
Councilor Dickens?
Here.
Councilor Lewis?
Here. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hoorah! Approval of the agenda? I make a motion we approve the agenda.
Second.
Councilor Quintana?
Yes.
Councilor Sandoval?
Yes.
Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
Citizens to address the council. John Martinez. Do we have a mic there? Come on up. Come on up here. We didn't get a mic out here for you tonight. Come on down here. I don't think so, John.
Good evening, Mayor Hicks, councilmen, members of the audience, Madam Manager. My purpose here tonight is twofold. Number one, I think that you all are aware of that my business partner Bob Clark and I co-own Rockies on Route 66. And we have just moved into the old What a Bargain store, more recently the Enchanted Floors. And we've been trying to transform it into something that I think Grants is in need of. And we haven't done this by ourselves. Week before last, we had the pleasure of Grants Main Street Economic Development and the Chamber just invade the premises of Rockies on Route 66, and they did a wonderful job of cleaning up our property, paint the front, and I'm here to give them just a round of applause. And number two, since we have worked so hard and are working so hard to make this little shop of ours something that Grants can be proud of. It hasn't been easy, but it's been a great deal of fun. And I invite you all to come and take a look and see what we have done, what we're doing. And tomorrow night would be a great opportunity. We're having our re-grand opening. And we have partnered up with IPAC, the Indian Parent Advisory Committee, and they're holding a powwow this next Saturday. So we partnered up with them, and we're sort of kicking off the event. And our re-grand opening is going to be a fundraiser. We're not selling tickets to enter, but we're taking donations at the door. And it promises to be a lot of fun. We're going to have singers, dancers, drummers. It's going to be a grand night. And my purpose here tonight is to cordially invite you all to come by and see what we've done. I think you'll be very pleased with how that old building looks and what it's turning out to be.
Questions from the council?
Mr.
I've got you slotted for tomorrow night right here, John, in my book. I'll be glad to see you guys.
What's the hours?
It starts at 4:30. The chamber's going to do ribbon cutting around 4:30, and we're going to start the party there till about 8 o'clock. There'll be refreshments. I think you're going to be surprised at what Rockies is doing.
Where are the donations going?
The donations will be going to IPAC, the Indian Parent Advisory Committee, for this benefit powwow that they're doing. And what they're doing, I don't know if you're aware, but IPAC is like the Native American PTA. And so they're raising money to help the students, and in turn help the families to help the students. So it's a good cause. It's a worthy cause. And I sort of got into this, and I told you not to be sorry. I got into this simply because I was born and raised here, and I'm repeating myself to many of you, but that's okay, because this is sort of my journey. I was born and raised here, and growing up, the Native American community, Pueblos and Navajo Nation, were all very involved with anything that Grants did. In '73, I left and I moved to Dallas, and I came back 5 years ago. And one of the things that I noticed was that our friends and our neighbors, our brothers and sisters, the peoples from the Pueblos and the Navajo Nation, were gone from any event that was being held in the city proper. And I kind of looked around and said, what's going on? And we've got to stop and realize, folks, that the Native American population that surrounds us is a major part of what Grants is today. We're influenced by, we're proud to say that we're a tricultural state. But Grants, if you stop and look at it, it really isn't, because of the absence of the Native American peoples that surround us. The food that we eat is influenced by the tricultural spirit that we are. How we speak, how we treat each other, that's a product of this tricultural influence. And right now, Grants is missing that. And my journey, it sounds grand, doesn't it? But my purpose is to reintroduce that influence back into our community. And I think this is one way of doing it. We had a meeting last night with the IPAC and the committee putting this powwow. And somebody said, and the discussion came up about the fact that Native Americans are missing. They're not in the parades, they're not in the rodeo, they're not, they're gone from everything. And one of the members there said, it's like we're starting all over again, and we are setting the example. So, I invite you all not only to tomorrow night, but to attend the powwow on Saturday.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Jimmy D. Herrera?
Right here.
Come on up here, man. We gotta have you on the recording for the record, my brother. Please.
You can do that.
I don't know what happened to my microphone out there.
It's done.
It's dead. Let's work on fixing that. First of all, I'd like to say Jimmy called me on this subject, and I invited him here to speak tonight to bring this up to the board of you, and we can see where we go with this. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Yes, greetings to the council tonight, to all the members of the council and to the audience. My name is Jimmy D. Herrera. I've been a citizen of Grants for pretty much all of my life. And I'm here tonight to ask the council if maybe we couldn't implement a pet cemetery. I know that a lot of people that do away with their animals have no other choice but to run up to the hills and bury their animals, or have their animals euthanized and have the vet dispose of them at the dump. And a lot of people I know are still grieving after the death of their animals, and I would like to see if we couldn't have a pet cemetery for Grants.
Do you have a location you're proposing?
Excuse me?
Do you have a location you're proposing?
No, not at this time. No, I don't. But it sure would be running up to the mountains and burying your animals in private property. People dislike you doing that at private properties. So,
What I would suggest here, guys, is that we get with AIM, Animals in Motion, and all those people, including Sherry over at our animal shelter, and see what they've got. And I don't know, let's take a look at it. I don't know of any property that we can use or anything, but let's take a look at it. Okay?
appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Manuel, you didn't want, I know you wrote your name down here and then you scratched it out, or is that just your signature?
That's my signature. No, I scratched it out because I didn't come. I left my paperwork at the house, I failed to bring it, so.
Come on, man, now you sound like Fred.
Okay, in that case, I will approve.
Come on up.
I hate being out here prepared, so.
Well, we know you're always prepared.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, Councilman, Mayor, City Manager. I'm here to bring a proposal to you guys to see if you can consider maybe investing in a tent for our local events and a music system for our local events. I know that every year we rent a tent for about $3,500 for the Fire and Ice. And I know that Golf Course rents one out there for their event. And I think he pays about $2,500. The Chamber usually rents something out too, and I don't know what their prices are. But I think if we made an investment on buying our own tent and our own music, our own sound system, it would be beneficial for the city. I think we could save money by having it put up by the city. And if there's other events, like maybe the Veterans Administration, you know how we have that, or the Veterans Parks, we have bad weather here. And that would be awesome to have something here for the Fire and Ice Park that the veterans can use for Veterans Day, which I'm really disappointed because we really didn't see anything for Veterans Day this year.
We're gonna fix that.
Oh, we are. Okay. How are we gonna fix it, Mayor?
Next year,
Buy a tent.
next year, my plan is, guys, and I was gonna wait to bring this up at the end of the meeting, is on Veterans Day, which falls on, I believe it is a Thursday or a Wednesday this coming year, 2015. We're gonna go ahead and kick down an extra $2,000 to Main Street. And we are gonna have a party for the veterans, barbecue, for all the veterans of Cibola County on Veterans Day. As soon as we're done down there at the Fire and Ice deal, we will all come down here and we'll have a barbecue and hopefully some microbrewers. You're gonna organize it, man.
Well, thanks.
Main Street's gonna do it, so
Thank you.
I'm counting on you to take care of it. I'm sure it'll be a great event.
We will work very hard on this. Thanks, Mayor. You put me on the spot, but thank
Yes,
you.
I did. And that was part of the plan of calling you up here tonight.
Okay, thanks. But anyway, we will accept that challenge and we will go through with it for the veterans. And thank you for all the veterans. But going back to the music system, we can get music, a good music system anywhere between $1,000, but a real good one for about $4,000. Okay, and this way we could all use it. And I'm talking about the Chamber of Commerce, I'm talking about Futures Foundation, Main Street, all the organizations here in town can probably use it instead of going out and renting a system every time we need one. And then we play our game of trying to find out who's gonna operate it. This way, if we could centralize one tent and the music system, I think we would all benefit and it would save the city a lot of money.
So there would be other events that you guys could plan earlier in the year and later in the year, because obviously we're dealing with the weather.
Exactly, that's why the tent's here, and going back to the mayor now, I'll put that, and the tent would be very good at that time of the year, because living in Grants, you don't know what kind of weather we're gonna have.
We know it's gonna change.
You definitely know how we're gonna change, but anyway, I'm bringing this up to you, and I will give you some numbers and estimates for everything.
And like I said, we can look at all that next year's budget, guys.
And I would-
It's not gonna happen this year, we're basically tied down now with what we've done with the police department and stuff. But these are some of the things that we will look at for next year's budget.
And this benefits the whole city,
Oh,
and,
yes, it does.
and actually it'll benefit the golf course, we can get some events going out there.
Yes.
If we can get the county to come in, because the county can use it a lot of times too, and we can actually maybe rent it out to other organizations. Instead of every organization spending $3,000 to $4,000 to come out and have a tent put out.
Manny, what size is the tent that the bike rally uses now?
It's 120 by 60.
And is this the size that you're talking about?
This is the size I'm talking about, because if we have a big event and we have some rain during the summer, we can all fit under there.
So you're talking about cutting Garcia's tents out, right?
Well, we're trying to.
Out of the big one anyway.
Yes,
I got
we
no
are.
problem with that, guys.
Yes, we are.
I really don't.
It's Albuquerque Tents who we get it from.
Like I
Manny,
said,
what was the cost of
no
it?
problem.
Remember?
For renting it out,
Yeah.
$3,600.
Yeah.
And a brat, oh my
That's
goodness.
used, right?
That's it.
That's
Well, no,
renting.
that's how
That's
we rent it,
renting
how
it
much
from
we
that
rent it.
alley.
But you're looking to buy a unit.
Right. But but I don't have the numbers, so I can't give you the numbers right
That's
now.
okay, we'll wait for the numbers, it's not gonna happen until next year anyway.
Well, I would like to see if you guys can consider it, put it in your budget for next year.
Yes,
Yes.
that's why we want the numbers.
Do you have an estimate of what kind like that costs?
Right on top of my head, I know that, for the rental,
No, to buy.
to buy, it's $22,000 a used one, for 120 by
22,000?
So if we rented it 10 times,
That paid for itself.
if we rented it 10 times during the year for the events that you're talking about, that'd be 36,000.
Well, we've already
We already paid for the bike rally for,
So we don't have it.
14 years at $3,600 a year.
and that's
And that's
not
just one
even-
event.
That's just one event.
We bought one a bunch of them.
So, if we could get something like that, then everybody, the whole city would benefit from this.
Thanks, Manny, that's a good idea. I think you have a lot of support there, so just give us some numbers.
I will definitely get you some numbers and we'll work on this. Thank you, and I will take care of your
forget Veterans Day.
You got it, thank you.
Aaron Dean, you're up. You notice we brought up Veterans Day first? Okay, you notice that? Come on up, state your name for the record, and talk to us, please.
My name's Aaron Dean. I'm commander of the American Legion Post 80 here in Grants. The reason I came to you tonight, those of you that are familiar with the Field of Honor that was started by Main Street, for the last few years, they've been making these wooden crosses. Last year with the rain, these crosses got damaged very bad. And as you can see, these right here, we couldn't drive them back in the ground. You can see how the end of it is tore up.
Masonite?
Yeah. So we have got together with the American Legion, all of our members. Richard Jones is one of our members, and we want to build metal crosses. And I brought this proposal. This one is no good anymore, but this kind of shows you what we're looking at. We're looking at trying to build 600 metal crosses, which we would never have to mess with them again. Main Street's still going to do the name tags like Grande's with the branch of service, and it's for the whole Cibola County. And what I would like to do is get some money from the city for this project and also the county. And all of the work will be volunteers from the American Legion. And Richard Jones is donating his shop and all of his equipment to weld these together. And we'll paint them, we'll do everything. Main Street will still do the name tags.
So what you'll be giving to the families will just be just the name tags then?
We don't give them anything anymore. The first year we gave away the crosses, but at the expense, we don't do that anymore. Most of the people that wanted them took them the first year, and we just make them again. And like that's branch of service. And it would be nice on a lot of them if, Main Street has done a real good job on these name tags, but we don't have the dates. We just have the war era that goes on it. But like I say, we branched it out now. When we first started, I believe it was 300 crosses, and we're gonna make 600 crosses. So,
Why that number?
because it's growing every year,
Does each cross represent a person
a person, just like,
from this area?
yes,
Sir, from within this county.
from this county. All the
3955 is what we're looking at?
Well, that one's no good anymore. It's probably gonna be closer to 43 right now with the increase on price of steel in the last 4 months.
I know, it looks really cool out there when all those crosses are up.
Well, and the American Legion will still keep doing it, we wanna make sure this goes on, because we believe it's something very important, and it brings a lot of people to the city to look at it.
That's just for the steel.
You're looking to want this money before.
Well, the sooner we can get it, the better, because it's gonna take a while to build 600 crosses and get them painted.
I talked to Eddie Michaels, called me on this, and they're willing to do half of it too, so.
So we do,
Okay?
both an angle something.
Like I said, if, anything you do to help, like I said, everything else will be volunteer. This is just what it's gonna cost for the material.
That'll work.
Great.
Because one of these days, our names are gonna be on one of the crosses up there too, David.
Unfortunately, I'm sure it will. And again, thank you, Council, Mayor, appreciate it.
Thank you, Aaron. Is there anybody else there that didn't sign in that would like to talk? Anybody at all? We'll let you talk. Going once, going twice, sold. Public comment on the discussion of the charter. Anybody out there like to talk about our charter, where we're at with it?
Did you ever get with the judge?
No.
Nothing?
I would like to state for the record that we are in compliance with our charter.
And I'd like to state that starting in January, we're gonna come up with a committee to review the charter and go through it and put it on the ballot in 2016 to update it. Next, we've got a proclamation for Miners Heritage Day, which I will read. It is a National Miners Day proclamation. Whereas the United States Senate passed a resolution, National Miners Day on December 6, 2009, honoring each and every miner, past, present, and future, for their accomplishments and to remember the tragedies they've experienced. Whereas New Mexico has always been a mining state where its minerals have been extracted by working individuals for the security and betterment of mankind. Whereas the Northwest region in New Mexico had a long and rich history of mining, bringing together people of all walks to work together in camaraderie and spirit in this hard and often dangerous task. Whereas the Northwest region in New Mexico had the distinction of being the uranium capital of the world, it also produced fluorspar, pumice, perlite, and presently coal. Whereas on December 6, 2014, on the anniversary of the National Miners Day, the New Mexico Mining Museum in Grants, New Mexico recognizes its past and present local miners in appreciation of their sacrifices with an honorary register created and dedicated to them as heroes of our mining industry and to be remembered therein. At that point, Jack, would you like to say something about this? Roger, would you like to say something about this? Come on up, Raj. Please, come up and say something about this. Well, he delegated it.
This I got you, huh?
Yeah, come on over here. Let us know what you guys are doing here.
Good evening, everybody. I don't know everybody's name. I know some of the positions and stuff, and I have seen some people around town. I'm Roger Sigmund, been here since '58. Went to high school here, did some college here, raised a family here, mined here. My dad mined here, died here. Seen so many people that mined here, died here, and felt there's a need for a registry to remember these people. So I got with the board of directors on the mining museum there, and together we built a registry to where we can put the person's name in there. We'll put the nickname that they had, which some of them were nice, some were a little different. But appropriate ones will go in there, the other ones won't. A person could buy a certificate down at the museum in appreciation from the city for their efforts and contributions to the city here. So this is what the registry is about. And I think it's a good thing for the city. We're encompassing every miner that we can think of that working uranium here, from Rio Portico to Gallup, including Church Rock Mine, Northeast Church Rock. We have a lot of people from Laguna that worked out there as well. We're including Laguna, Acoma, Jack Pile. We're doing the United Nuclear Homestake. Any mine we can think of, anybody who ever worked here in uranium, would like to have their name in the museum as a permanent record and show some appreciation for that.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Any
That's what we're
questions
doing.
for the council? I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I think it's wonderful and it's overdue, so thank you very much. Next, regular city council meetings, minutes from October 28th.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept the minutes from previous meeting, October 28, 2014.
Any corrections, nothing? Second.
I second it.
Councilor Quintana,
Abstain or was absent?
Councilor Sandoval,
Yes.
Councilor Dickens,
Yes.
Councilor Lewis.
Yes.
Senior citizens report. It's okay, Dory, it's a new thing, you just happen to get picked to do the first one. You're not gonna be the only one, they're all gonna come, you just got picked first.
on me. Good
We
for the opportunity to talk about the senior program. I'm honored to be here. I'm not sure, Laura did ask that I give a brief, just a brief report on what we do there and what's going on there. So, my name is Dory Sandoval. I am the director of the senior programs. I've been there for 26 years, and so I'm almost one myself. The senior program, our mission is to provide services to senior citizens age 60 and older throughout Cibola County. And our goal is to meet the needs of the senior citizens throughout the county. And we target on minority, low income, and individuals residing in the rural areas. And our objective is to be the focal point for resources for senior citizens throughout the county. The City of Grants is our sponsoring agent. We do report, we do get federal and state funds. And that's, I think, one of the biggest questions that I get, because we do provide services throughout the county. But because the City of Grants is our sponsor, we're very fortunate and grateful to have the City of Grants sponsor our senior programs. There are many senior programs throughout the state that are private nonprofit and don't have the luxury actually of having an agency that really backs them up like the city provides for us. So annually I do go out, they do put out RFP, and I do have to submit what's called an area plan, my proposal, my area plan as to what we're going to be providing. I have to give projected units of service for every service that we're going to anticipate to provide. The services that we're currently providing are congregate meals. And those are the meals that we serve there at the meal site. Home delivered meals, transportation, and homemaker services. Those are, when I have to submit my budget, I submit a separate budget for each of those services within the entire budget. In addition to that, we have the Senior Companion Program, which is totally state funded, and the Foster Grandparent Program, which is also totally state funded. And then I also put in a request for the Senior Employment Program. I have 4 positions, those are part-time positions for that program, and it's for individuals that are 55 and older, and it is a job training program. Currently, in congregate meals, we're averaging, we're serving approximately 75 individuals on a daily basis. Our biggest increase has been in home delivered meals. We are serving approximately 95 daily. And those we provide all the way to Blue Water, Milan, San Rafael, and San Fidel and Cubero, and then of course the Grants area. So and that one is really growing. And then we've got homemaker services. That's one of our newest services. Currently I only have 1 homemaker that provides light housekeeping to individuals that are in need of that service. And we are getting a lot of requests to provide additional assistance to individuals in the home. But however, with just 1 homemaker, it's getting really difficult. Annually, I do put in a request, a legislative request. I have to go in front of individuals such as yourself. It's a mock legislative hearing. We've got representatives there. And I have to justify my request for funding. And so the backup is, of course, the reports that we submit to the state every month as to how many units of services we're providing for individuals. The reimbursement is also, we get reimbursed according to how many units of service. We have, the contracts are for each service, and we get reimbursed accordingly for each service that we provide. Currently, I'm glad to report that we are exceeding all of our projected units, and that's that's good justification when I do go out and request additional funds from the state legislature. So in the past, we've been quite fortunate to get approval for all services. In addition to those services, those are the ones that we're funded for, we also provide the recreational activities, which are probably the most common. People, it's like, oh, your dances, bingo, we've got shuffleboard, we've got pool tables, we've got a really nice exercise room with exercise equipment. And so we've got all of that going on a daily basis, people coming in to partake in that. We got an exercise class. We've just recently gotten 2 individuals trained to provide the exercises. That's called Enhanced Fitness. That's an evidence-based program. And of course, we have to report those units. That is funded through the New Mexico Senior Olympics office, and so they are paying these individuals to provide these classes. Cost, that's one of the biggest things. There is no cost for any of our services. Currently, we ask for a $1 donation for meals. And if people cannot make that donation, we will provide the meals. So meals are provided to any individual that is in need of those meals, in addition to transportation. I think in a nutshell that covers it all. I mean, I can go on. I've got like a 36-page narrative that I do submit to the state. I don't think people want to, but I'm open for questions if anyone has questions.
Questions from the council?
How's your antique stove holding up over there?
Okay, our antique stove is just barely hanging on, but I'm glad to report that in part of my capital outlay request that I submitted last year, that was approved, and that went out to the voters. We're just waiting for the GO bonds to be sold so we can get the money, so we can get a new stove. And then, of course, the $270,000 for new vehicles, because our vehicles are,
Another thing, how are our mechanics holding up out there, providing for you for the vehicles?
we're getting
Lori,
by.
if you would rather speak to that in private with Laura, that's fine.
I've got, actually what I've done is I've assigned an individual who knows a little bit of mechanics. I've assigned him to, because we have to do the vehicle checklist every morning. And so he double checks, and then if we have a problem, he's communicating quite well with the mechanics. And that seems to be working out better for us. So that's kind of been a little bit of a result that I've had. With him knowing mechanics, it kind of helps a little bit, than just me going and saying, well, this is kind of, so that seems to work.
Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, I think this is a good example of what happens when somebody stays in the program for so long. I mean, you see this great success that we're having out there because you've been involved in it so long. You really figure out the nuts and bolts and grow a program like this into a really successful program.
Did you ever take advantage of the 25-year driver vehicle?
I have not, and Ruben has brought that to my attention several times, once I completed my 25 years, that, that is a benefit. I do thank you, I appreciate that benefit. I just don't want to take advantage because I do transport a grandchild every morning, and I just didn't want to use the city vehicle because I have to bring him into town with me every day.
Well, you have that option.
Yeah, thank you.
Just so you know that option is available to you.
Yes.
Also, what I would like to say on this is I'm the senior resident on the council, and I will say that the senior citizen is probably the best run organization we have within the city,
Thank you.
and I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I'd like to invite you all on this week we've got our Thanksgiving dinner, and that's, it's always on the calendar. We've got a Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday of this week. and of course, a live band. We have our band. And anytime that any of you would like to come over and jump in one of the vans and go on one of the home delivery routes, that's quite an eye-opener, because it's interesting to see how many individuals we have out there that are in such need of these meals. And for many of them, it's the only hot meal that they have on a daily basis, and the person delivering the meal might be the only person that they speak to in all day. So it's quite an eye-opener to get out there. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in the homes, you know, with our senior companions going out and visiting these individuals and stuff. It's, you know, we're doing the best we can. Well, thank you.
We appreciate you.
And we appreciate the support of the city. Again, you know, the use of the facility, you know, all the support that we get from the finance staff here and all the staff. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Salt Cedo Removal Project. Come on up, I'm not gonna cut you short. I know you're gonna wanna go on and on and on.
How do you know that?
Because I've sat with you. And, basically just give us the quick overlay, and if you need to go into detail, we'll send you to Laura. And then Laura will get with each one of us.
Okay.
And I'm aware of what we're doing anyway, because I've already been through it with you.
Okay, I've got some stuff to hand out to you guys. Let's see, 6 of them. There you go. If you take one and pass them. And maybe Paul. My name's Larry Wynn. I'm working with Lava Soil and Water Conservation District and with McKinley Soil and Water Conservation District to use state money and only state money to get rid of salt cedar. We're doing this through state money that comes to an organization called the Greater Rio Grande Watershed Alliance, which both of those districts are members of. We have, what I've passed out to you is a copy of the proposal that we jointly turned in, which got funded. And so that's just kind of an overview of what we're doing. What you'll see there is something that is not just in the city of Grants, but is all around Mount Taylor, really. And so the parts of it that are out in the county are going to be treated with aerial spraying of herbicide. That will happen about 10 months from now, 9 or 10 months from now. And there will be some other lands that will be included in that through an upcoming proposal. What we're doing, one thing you will find early on in your packet there is a color map, an aerial photo of Grants. And that's really the main reason I'm here today, tonight, is to tell you this, because this is getting ready to happen, yeah, that's it, Laura. This is getting ready to happen in about 3 weeks. And so what's going to happen basically is on that map, what it shows is the north-south drainage that comes down from behind the cemetery, past Washington and past Laura's old digs, and then goes into the Von Gunderson lands, which are the lands west of Allsops and back behind
Mesa View School.
Mesa View and Future Foundations. And then what we had applied for was just to do that. And then next year, in another application, I was just giving them a heads up, we were going to go down the Rio to the southeast of there, in the area that you see on the map, going southeast from Nimitz. And so the area that's inside of blue lines there. Well, we were surprised a few months back when they told us that they were going to fund the whole thing this time around. So what we have done in working out the details between then and now is the area, all we're going to really treat this time, which is to say in the month of December of 2014, is the area that is north of the Rio on that map. There's about, I'd say 40 or so acres,
that you see on that map that's south of the Rio, between the Rio and Santa Fe Avenue. That's kind of a complicated thing that's gonna be done next year. Okay? Now, one thing you'll see in your packet also is a letter from your illustrious mayor promising to kick in an excavator at the great price of fuel and operator and expense money for that equipment. Right now, that arrangement has not been finalized, but the people in charge of that, which is to say Clonch, Pinto, Soil and Water District, and Mountain Air, will be working with Laura to finalize a contract with the city to do an area along the waterway there, in other words, the north-south ditch. And there, what?
The Grants Channel.
There we go, the Grants
Okay.
Channel,
Go ahead.
yes. Capital G, capital C, right? And also, there is an area, there's an easement underneath a power line that goes behind Mesa View Elementary and Future Foundations. And so what we decided to do, what the group decided to do, Greater Rio Grande, is to, this time around, to work with the city on that small contract and see how that works out. They were pleased at the rate that was bid by Boss Equipment out of Ruidoso to do most of that project. So they're going to be in here with excavators, where they're going to go underneath in the area you see there north of the Rio and sort of west of Nimitz. They're going to go in there and get down underneath the root ball of the salt cedar trees and pull them up, and then they have a machine called a masticator, which is basically a gigantic lawnmower that instead of mowing grass, it mows trees. And so basically it'll cut the wood up into small pieces and just leave it there on the ground, and it'll be maybe 4 to 6 inches thick on the ground. And
Does that include all the seeds?
what?
Does that include all the seeds from the salt cedar?
It'll be treated like.
Well, I mean, there won't be any seeds at that point. In other words, put it this way, there are some seeds, it's kind of a complicated thing. There are resprouts, but there's money to treat the resprouts. And what we'll do is we'll go in and treat those resprouts when the plants get about 3 or 4 years old. The resprouts won't be all the way across. It'll just be here and there, there'll be resprouts. But there will be money to treat those resprouts also. And I just also want to give you all a heads up, because I'm hoping really that the city would sort of like adopt this project in some yet to be specified manner. For instance, we're going to need to get permissions to treat south of the Rio. If we could somehow come to y'all and maybe get the city's good offices to help us with those outreach to those citizens between the Rio and Santa Fe, that would be really helpful.
Where are you, what location?
It's on your map there. It is the area.
In red?
Is
The red's what we're gonna do now. It's the blue area, the dark blue one.
Yeah, I just don't want us treating the Riverwalk down there with poison that's gonna harm animals.
This is all mechanical, not poison.
All right.
And so poison is sort of a loose term. There are approved herbicides that do not have anything to do whatever with mammalian enzymatic activity at all. They're purely, I can talk with you in detail if you'd like to know about that, but they're absolutely approved herbicides that are also used for treating resprouts.
They don't harm animals.
They have nothing to do, they're not even taken up by animals. They're just, they're taken up. In other words, let's say if a dog licks something, he'll get it in his mouth, but it doesn't do anything to him. I myself accidentally swallowed 3 ounces of this chemical once upon a time.
Yeah, but you look pretty weird.
Yeah, I started to say, that's a mixed opinion as to whether that was an effect or not. But anyway, I just also want you to know that what we're hoping, when I say we at this point, I mean Lavla Soil and Water Conservation District, But I hope that that "we" is later extended to mean City of Grants and, County of Cibola. We have another round of these proposals that are due in the end of January. And we're looking at various things. I've done some preliminary work on parcel research, just in the area, let's say, between Santa Fe Avenue and I-40, and along both sides of Santa Fe Avenue that's going north-south there toward the east side exit. And not counting where the buildings are, there's approximately 700 acres in the city limits. That doesn't mean 700 acres of salt cedar, but it means 700 acres, put it this way. The salt cedar doesn't grow in the Malpai. So where the Malpai impinges on that land between I-40 and Santa Fe Avenue, it's only east of the Malpai that we're really concerned about. But in that land there, some of which is Elkins land, some of which is Gottlieb, basically if you go from there east across Santa Fe Avenue to the city limits, there's about 700 acres, not counting where the businesses are. And some of that could probably be treated aerially and some of it not, but that's just an example of what we could put in our January project. And so I'm going to be working with the district as to what they want to propose, because it's their application. But there's stuff to do for years. And ideally what we'd like to do is eliminate this plan completely and, in the county. And so we can just go down the Rio as the years progress. And as long as this money holds up, we should use it. And this money comes from the Water Trust Board to this organization, Greater Rio Grande Watershed Alliance. And then each year, or sometimes twice a year, the various districts propose projects. This project in grants, combined with the other things that have been funded that you see in your packet there, all but the Cubero project were funded, constitutes, this organization, Greater Rio Grande, has been in place about 5 years, but they treated primarily small parcels. But by, let's say, this time next year, the area around Mount Taylor will constitute about 75% of the total land that this organization has ever treated anywhere in 14 soil and water conservation districts. So we are right now already the most active area out of 14 soil and water conservation districts. And so it's great.
Laura is the operator of the unit that we're going to loan to them. Is it our operator?
You betcha. It's the only way we do it. Our equipment, our operator, they're gonna pay for his wages, they're gonna pay for the gas and the machine and maintenance.
Now, Larry, are you talking about
Yeah.
starting
No, all we're
out
doing is
now
giving
with
them
another
equipment.
group to do this first section?
Out of the area on your map, that is the entire area that's north of the Rio, all but about, I don't know, 20, I'm guessing it's about 20 acres that the group will ask the city, will enter into a formal agreement with the city on. But other than that, there will be about, I'm guessing about 130 or 40 acres that Boss Equipment out of Ruidoso will be doing both the excavation and the mastication. They will be doing that, they tell me, in about 3 weeks, and spending 2 or 3 weeks doing it. So during the month of December, they will be done. And it'll just be kind of, that area will be a turnkey operation, and you'll see some people out there, and they're doing it, and you know what I mean?
Sounds good.
And it'll be cool. And hopefully at some point in the future, the city might also get behind a replant kind of thing. That's just off the top of my head, but there are salt-tolerant grasses that could be reseeded in those areas. you know, you're all familiar with the fact that salt cedar leaves, it doesn't, the salt pans are already there, but they increase the intensity of the salt content of the soil. But there are salt-tolerant grasses that could be replanted in those areas that could slowly change the soil chemistry there, and we could re-beautify that area.
What's the price tag that's for this area? What's it gonna cost?
The area that I've just described to you off of that map is going to be about $150,000. So it varies. In other words, if you have a turnkey operation on the excavation and mastication both, the price per acre depends upon the density of the plant growth. But this particular project that I'm describing right now for the month of December is going to be about $1,200 an acre. If you treat this stuff from the air through herbicide spray, you can get this thing done for about $150 an acre. But you still have, if you want to masticate, you still have to come in with a masticator. So that would bring it up to maybe $700 or $800 an acre, even if you treated it from the air. But we're hoping that this is something that would go forward at essentially, other than the in-kind donation that the mayor very graciously offered back in the month of June, and I guess is re-offering continuously. This should be no cost to the city or the county. At this point anyway, you know, for the foreseeable future.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, I should point out that we have a couple of folks here from Lava tonight. Fred Padilla on the board, Fred, and Cynthia Speidel, who is also waving in the back, and they're happy to be a part of this. Thank you all.
Main Street contract, who's gonna handle that one?
Basically, the Main Street contract needs to be renewed, and it's the contract we've had in place for years for their lease of the building across the street. We're looking at a 4-year lease, and they were previously paying about $171.71 per month, and we put it to $175 just to do an even. And so we're looking at renewing that contract for 4 more years.
175 is odd.
Yeah, well, 171 seemed kind of odd to me. It's like, let's just do 175.
Round it up.
Yeah.
We're making money.
Any questions from the council? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the lease for Main Street.
Second.
Second.
Councilor Quintana?
Yes.
Councilor Sandoval?
Yes.
Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
Holiday calendar. I've sat here and looked at it, guys. The 2 holidays I'm always concerned with, Veterans Day and Memorial Day, are both in place. I'm good with moving Martin Luther King's Day to Thanksgiving, so whatever you guys think.
Sure you don't get any complaints on Martin Luther King?
I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with moving Veterans Day.
I don't want that.
Okay. I mean, Martin Luther King Day, if it weren't for the veterans, there wouldn't be Martin Luther King Day. There wouldn't be a 4th of July, there wouldn't be nothing. So as long as Veterans Day and Memorial Day there, I'm good with whatever you guys want to do with it.
We need to move, the 4th of July is on a Saturday, so I need to know if you guys want to do Friday or Monday.
Friday.
Let's observe it on Friday.
Friday. Okay? That good, Dorit? You like Friday better than Monday? Paul, you like Friday better than Monday?
Absolutely.
Other city employee over there, you like Friday better than Monday? There you go. That works for me. On that note, putting the 4th of July to the Friday, which would be the 3rd of July. I'll entertain a motion on the calendar.
I make a motion, we approve the calendar with the moving of July 3rd.
Second. Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
Done.
That was Charles.
Region Sapola Dispatch first quarter payment.
So did everybody get a copy? These just came to us today from Tammy.
Yes.
December 8th.
No.
Mike, did you get one?
Our portion is 74,000 this time. Any questions on that? You know, I just remember when I came on the council, guys, back in 8.5 years ago, it was averaging about $28,000, okay? And now it's at $74,000 in tripling. And it's only gonna get worse because that place is over there, it's fixing to fall apart, guys. We need all kinds of new equipment and everything over there. If you don't believe me, ask the 3 chiefs that we have here, the 2 chiefs and the sheriff-elect. Am I right, guys?
Correct.
So it's only gonna get worse. On that note, I will entertain a motion to pay the $74,000. Because according to both of our chiefs, the last thing we wanna do is take this thing over. So, let's pay the $74,000 and let's keep pushing. And maybe our idea on the tax increase will work.
I'll make a motion to approve the 74,722.
Second,
Second.
Counselor Quintana? Yes. Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
Thank you guys for your support. Annual merit increase. This is the one we do every year, and that's your memo you see in front of you. Any questions on it?
I'd like to bump this up by $50 if you can.
That'll have to happen in next year's budget.
Okay, well, let's put that on the record so that it can happen next year.
We can put that on the record, and then we'll
I've
vote
heard that before,
on it next.
never came up.
That before was with another mayor, Ruben.
Well,
Okay?
bring it up
Don't
again.
start that, dude. This is a new mayor, and I don't do that,
Okay, well,
okay?
this is the third time.
Don't do that to me, dude.
I've done this 3 times now.
Yeah, you've done it to the other mayor 3 times. You've never done it to me, don't do
Well,
it again.
Okay, well, I did it
Okay.
again because it hasn't happened yet, so I'll do it again if it doesn't
And
happen.
maybe the other counselors don't agree with you, Ruben, so it may
Well,
not
okay,
happen then,
well, that's
okay?
fine, but let's bring it
So,
up at least,
that's
right?
that.
Let's at least bring it up.
On that note, a motion.
I make a motion, we give the 250 raise.
Second.
Second.
Counselor Quintana.
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval.
Yes.
Counselor Dickens.
Yes.
Counselor Lewis.
Mr. Mayor, is this considered a Christmas bonus?
Basically, it's, you can't say that.
You can't say
That's
that?
what it is, okay?
I have a
Okay.
question.
I didn't say it.
Is it a taxed amount?
Yes.
Yes.
It is a taxed amount. So you figure they're probably only getting about 200, if you really look at it. Right?
Yes, it's all a text amount.
Figured it would be.
Yes, by the way. I don't know if I voted, yes.
Okay, that'll work. Next, resolution on open meetings act, guys. I want to change the meetings of the city council to Monday nights instead of Tuesday nights. Several reasons for doing that. Number 1 is we can't attend the school board meetings. Number 2 is we have high school functions and stuff on Tuesday nights that don't happen on Monday nights. Other than Monday night football, which we can all go home and catch the second half, since we're here for the citizens, I would really like to move these meetings to Mondays.
Starting when?
Starting the first Monday, January 12th. January 12th will be our first meetings on this new Open Meetings Act for the paper, for everybody out there. Also on this note right here, for all city employees from now on, when this agenda comes out on Thursdays, I want all the backups with it. I don't want us sitting up here at this table and having all this crap come flying up here where we don't even have time to review it. So that's dead as of today, Laura, from now on. And if it cannot make it on the agenda 72 hours before the meeting, then we'll table it that night. And they can wait 2 weeks till the next meeting. Okay? Because this is, to me, this is what we dealt with, me, you, and you. We dealt
Probably
with
went
it.
from 24 to 72, so
Well,
it's never been done.
But my point being is that we all always still are getting the stuff when we sit up here at the table.
Right.
And it's dead, okay? No more of this. I mean, look at the mess we got here tonight because we didn't have our packets put together. Okay? So on that note, I'll entertain a
I have a comment.
Go ahead, Ruben.
Actually, we're always waiting on Monday for Tuesday anyway.
Yeah. Michael?
My comment on this resolution is actually, I think and on a personal matter, it's very beneficial to me because I have little kids at home and I need to attend their functions, and that's why I've missed a couple of the meetings, is because my kids are very important to me and I need to be there for them. So being a single parent, this will help me tremendously, and anybody for that matter that comes on board as a council member, and people in the audience that need to attend. I mean, we have functions at the high school that run Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, those kind of things. Mondays are pretty much open. So, Mayor, I want to express my gratitude. Thank you.
And
It's gonna help
Michael,
me
you were
out.
one of the main reasons that I thought about when I started making this change. I know what it's like. I mean,
Thanks.
and this way, and not only that, but the paper sometimes has to choose between coming here and going to a school board meeting. And now, we can go to school board meetings, okay? And on that note, I'll entertain a motion to.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and make this resolution 14-1477 Opens Meetings Act, with our meetings being moved to Mondays instead of Tuesdays.
Second?
Counselor Quintana,
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval,
Yes.
Counselor Dickens,
Yes.
Counselor Lewis.
Yes.
I thank you guys for your support on that, without a
Thank you.
doubt. Chief,
Mayor, Councilman,
more bunker gear. Talk to us.
additional bunker gear.
Talk to us,
Trying
Brady.
to keep my employees as safe as I can. I apologize for getting the letter to you this morning. The timing was just that we opened the bids yesterday, and according to the letter, there was one successful bidder, Ellen Curtis. Wrote the specifications to match the gear we have right now, because it's something that is very, very apropos for what we do. It works very well, and it has lasted quite some time. But the reason I'm getting another set of gear is I need to do as much as I can to keep all the carcinogens that we come in contact with at a fire at a minimum. And I've changed the rules that every time we have a fire now, they have to clean their gear. So for that 6 or 10 hour period that this stuff has to dry, because you can't throw it to the dryer, they have to have another set of gear. So that's what I'm doing this for. So I'd appreciate if you would approve it. I have the money in our fire fund, and I'd like to see it go through.
Does this come out of your budget?
Fire fund, yes.
Yes. How far are you into your budget right now?
I have about 89,000 left in the fire fund.
And that needs to last you till the end of the year?
Yes, sir. And all the major appropriations from those funds have already come out. This is probably one of the last largest ones I'll have. The rest of the funding will cover utilities. Insurance has already been taken care of for the entire fiscal year. We don't deplete that down any further unless we need to. Hopefully we won't.
Chief, will you have any monies left over to do anything like this, say closer to the end of the year, if you do need additional gear? Say for instance, if you have monies left over, we were last week of December.
I have 3 other programs that I pushed back because of this appropriation I wanted to get right now. And if there's monies left over at the end of the year, I'll come to the council before those. But I'm going to try and hold a $40,000 buffer between now and then.
But I understood that you moved to the city to increase your budget. Didn't
Yes, sir.
you get that? So you got that also, right?
Well, yes, we were able to get about $245,000, but I have a $54,572 car payment with a big white truck across the street every year.
Yeah, but I mean,
Comes
by
right off
moving
the
to
top.
the city, you increased.
I increased that, yes, sir. But monies don't go very far. It's $13,000 for security, $22,000 for insurance, $5,000 for uniforms. You put municipal at the end of our name and things go through the roof. $21,000 for 12 sets of bunker gear. $1,801 just for a jacket, a pair of pants, and a Nomex hood.
And these are each fitted to each individual firefighter, right?
Yes, sir.
So if he quits and leaves and we hire a new one, then we gotta buy new bunker gear, right?
try and squeeze them into the gear that we buy.
It's amazing.
Same size gun.
For the first year, the new firefighters generally will try and use what I have in stock. 2 years ago, I went through all of our gear. We had lots of it in the back, and much of it I had to discard because it was out of date, damaged, or would no longer be used or accepted at the Socorro Firefighter Academy. They're very strict about that.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the bid for the firefighting gear as requested by Chief Hayes.
$21,646.80.
I'll second that.
Okay, Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Jacobs?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
There you go, baby.
Thank you.
Chief Hayes?
Yes.
I'd like to publicly thank you for rescuing our quadcopter out of a 60-foot tree a few days ago.
My pleasure, Councilman.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Mr. Manager. Mayor, if you'd like, can I bump up item number 15 with this item number 12?
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
We'll go ahead and move 15 up to 13 and everything else slides down.
great.
No big deal. Go
Tonight I
for it.
prepared a quick presentation, a progress report on the College Road Bridge, and a project briefing for the Second Street Bridge.
Dory, have a good night. Be safe going home.
Yeah, thank you.
This slide here depicts a schedule of our pre-construction activities for College Boulevard Bridge. Currently, we're out for bidding advertisement. It'll take us into December 2nd. Bid open December 9th. At that time, we'll review the bids and prepare an award recommendation, present at City Council December 16th. Award the contract on the 19th. Contractor will have a few months to ramp up their operations prior to construction
Does it
on
take
on
that
March.
long?
Well, one of the
Why are
things,
we giving them till March 2nd from December 19th?
one of the things to avoid the inclement weather.
But that's where you're wrong in grants. For March and April and May, you're gonna get rain. Every year, you're gonna get rain. That's why I wanted it done through the winter. And I understand that it's a little frozen, but there are ways to do concrete to keep it from freezing.
We can take a look at that. I mean, we can
Okay.
issue that as an addendum. It's not too late
Yeah,
to
we
change
need-
that by all
because-
means.
That waiting till March 2nd to start it, it might wash out on March 14th.
Is
Okay,
the deck's gonna be, concrete?
concrete.
Okay, so, yeah, I'm a little
One of the
for
things
that.
that they'll
We need
need
to-
time-
We need to get moving on
We
this.
need to get moving on it, okay?
They'll need some additional time to secure the bridge, order it. It's a precast bridge.
And I understand that,
Delivery.
okay, but I mean, that March 2nd date, to me, that's crazy. Because you're giving them December, January, February, March. You're giving them 4 months to even start from the time that we bid it out. And my point being is, March, I mean, I hunt, and I know it rains every year. March, April, May, it rains. And then it quits for June, and then July, August, September, October, it starts again. Okay, and that's what I'm looking at.
Sure. You know what, tomorrow we'll go and we'll revise that.
March is
Do an
just
addendum.
late. I would think that we would start a lot earlier. I don't think they need 3 months to ramp up and get here. See what you could do with that.
You bet.
Go ahead now.
These are the alternatives. The cost did increase due to additional roadway improvements. And right here, listed from most expensive to least, and I kind of reviewed this last presentation. Our team analyzed the box concrete culverts, a series of culvert pipes. And what we chose to bid out was a pre-manufactured clear span bridge past the 100-year flow. The Second Street Bridge project briefing. This design improvements includes replacing the existing structure with a new concrete culvert that will be designed to safely pass that 100-year storm. The outfalls, the storm drain outfalls along Second Street on the north and southern end, and to improve the roadway approaches. Our task order includes engineering design, preparation of preliminary plans and specifications. We will secure the required nationwide Army Corps permits, 401 and 404. At that point, we'll take our plans and specifications, engineers' estimates, and final 100%. Jump into pre-construction activities, prepare project letting documents, bid out evaluation, and present that city council with an award recommendation. At this time, I'm respectfully asking your consideration to award the contract, including NMGRT, $48,909.77. And I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have.
And this is for Second Street, right?
Second Street Bridge.
Okay. Any questions?
This is the bridge over Rio San Jose.
Yes, sir.
Right there by the high school. Questions, Michael? Ruben? Eddie? Mike Lewis?
We're just approving their.
Yes, their portion so they can do the design and all that good stuff. Okay?
That's the 48,000.
48,909.77.
I'll make a motion to approve the 48,909.77.
Second it.
Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
You go?
That's it. Thank you.
That's it. That works.
Appreciate it. And I'll
Just
report
make sure
back to
and-
Mr. Pena on that new schedule for
Yeah, let me know as soon as possible, Paul. Because I do not want to wait and start in March. I'd rather start the end of January, 1st of February. Because there are ways to make concrete not freeze. And I mean, they work year round every place else. We can do it here.
Thank you.
By February, I think it's getting warm enough. We got a lot
Yeah.
of warm days.
You betcha. So let's kick it
Yeah,
off.
I'd like to
Get it
be
going.
notified also, that's my district, so,
Okay.
thank you.
Wayne, you gonna do the vacuum prepares or is Paul?
I got
Paul, he's throwing it off on you, bro. I think we ought to make Wayne do it personally, but if you want to take care of it for him, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we need to repair the Vector. You have the letter there, the notice that the process that we've gone through at this point with that Vector, trying to get it repaired. Several issues with it that were needed, so the amount is $16,488.62, and that includes tax. And the vast majority of that is parts.
You know, guys, something that I'd like to look at for next year, financing a brand new one. They're
I
about,
think this was broken when we had the
yes,
problem.
it breaks down, it's so old that we're spending so much money repairing
It's
it.
80, what year is that one, Wayne? 89.
Yes, we did. You know, and the cost of a brand new one, guys, is about close to $300,000, about $275,000, $280,000. It is an essential piece of equipment for our town with all of our collapsed sewer lines and stuff. I mean, well, we have to rent them when we don't have them, we have to rent one to borrow it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next year, let's start looking at if we gotta go to DFA, whatever we gotta do to get a brand new truck. And on that note, I will entertain a motion to repair the one that we have.
I make a motion to
Again.
go ahead and repair for the $16,488.62.
Second.
I just have one comment real quick.
Go ahead, Mike.
Now, on this repair work, Paul, what's our warranty? Are they giving us some type of warranty on the work? Parts, labor, that kind of thing?
Don't you get it on the warranty, the parts that they put in, Michael?
Okay,
Yeah.
but how long, what's the
I think
duration
it's
of
from 6
time?
months to a year. I'll get with Pete's Garage and find out for sure.
Could you please?
Yeah, because when they fix something, something else breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they'll say,
no, and I understand that whatever they fix,
They
that's what
guarantee,
they guarantee it, but
Yeah.
for how long is?
okay, I think it's 6 months to a year.
Once we get this fixed, we need to put it to work.
You know, it's been working, that's why it's broke.
And you need to trade all three of them in.
Getting
It's getting worked to death.
Okay, thanks, Wayne.
We need to, we'll need to start that plan with repairing our sewer systems
Yes.
around town and take some load off of it.
Denise, you got Michael as a second on that? Okay.
Yes.
Sandoval?
Yes.
Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes, but Paul, could
Go
you
ahead.
explain to the citizens and also the media what this machine does, so we know what we're talking about?
Yeah, what this is used for, it's used to unplug our main sewer lines. That's the biggest use that it's used for. One of the problems that we're having with our sewer lines, our aging sewer lines in town, is we have a lot of sewer lines where top part of the sewer line has been basically eaten away, rotted away. And what happens is that there's basically a hole in the ground. And so we get at times that hole in the ground collapses, that hole just, the dirt caves in is what it is. And at that point, then we go out with this Vector to try to clean it out, and then OMI will go in there and dig up the area and recap that part of the line. But we just have a lot of areas in town that we have aging sewer lines, and we need this machine to help them plug those larger sewer lines.
And it's amazing because we use it to blow the lines out, but we also use it to suck the sewer out when it's collapsed and you can't blow the line through. But like some of our drainage problems down on Sage Street when I first came in, I took Wayne down there with the backhoe, we dug out the holes in the ditch and then put the Vector in the graded part of it and blew it out. And you'd be amazed how much work that actually does around the water lines. They start digging and then they hit it with that Vector truck and it just sucks everything out to where you can see right where the leak's coming from and everything. It's such an essential piece, guys.
And the other use that it's used for also is for our drains. If our drain lines get plugged up, they come in there and clean those out also.
Yeah, we use those to clean out all the manholes,
Everything manholes.
just locate where we can see the line, which way to run the Vector in. Because it's 10 feet high and you just probing to see which way the water line's running. So we just suck up all the sewer out of that and then we just run our line in there. Just like Peel Street, Ackerman Street, they were all collapsed lines. So that's what we have to do.
commercial vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
Well, it's awesome.
On a large scale,
Yeah.
It's
And
awesome.
like Modi said, we just dig out around the line, put the vac to it, and it just sucks around the broken area. We can see exactly what we need to do there.
Do the new ones come with a camera system inside?
We're looking at a camera system too, that'll run around 85 to 100,000. You run those inside the line to see how far it's broken and what's.
I know, but I mean,
Yeah,
the
does it-
Vector itself,
Does the Vector truck come with one on it?
No, you gotta get a separate, it's a separate cost.
Well, the Vector's more important than camera truck.
Right.
Was this Vector, when it was purchased, was it purchased new?
It was purchased used. It was purchased used.
Robert was here when it came, I think.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Way back when. It was purchased used. Okay, so that note, we've got that vote taken care of. Next thing on the list is change order the final change order for Ackerman Street, guys.
We don't need to do anything on this because the additional amount is actually gonna be $16,666, and you guys already approved
So we
23.
came in under, that works. That'll work. Fantastic, thank you for that report. This 15's already been moved. Okay, I got a couple of board member appointments, guys. The first one is the beautification committee.
What we need to do with the beautification committee, we need to renew Jamie Holton. Her term has expired, and then we have 3 other applicants, Mary Savicek, Marie Ruiz, and John Phillips. And we just need 2 more positions, a full position and an alternate. My recommendation is that you appoint Marie because she is on no other committees, whereas John Phillips and Mary Savicek are on other committees. So I would say appoint Marie as the official committee member and Mary Savicek as the alternate and renew Jamie Holton.
And I'm good with that. And I'll entertain a motion as to such.
I make a motion that we go with the city manager's recommendation.
Second.
Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval?
Yes.
Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
The second one is the library board, and they're all reappointments that I'm recommending. Janice Shipley, Marie O'Connell, and Leslie Barwick Smith, and they're all for another 2-year terms. And I'll entertain a motion for that.
Again, I make a motion, we accept the mayor's recommendation.
Second,
Second.
Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval? Yes. Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
That'll work. Planning and zoning. I guess that's you, huh, Paul?
It's me, yeah. Okay, apparently we need a resolution to do the demolition for 416 Aspen Street. And I don't think it was on the list when we originally did it because we didn't feel like we were gonna have enough money to do it. Some items have fallen off the list, and so it needs to be, so kind of push that up into priority.
On here on section 2, are the owners gonna do it or is the city gonna do it?
What we have to do is, the way this process works, guys, is we put out this resolution and we put it out there. They have a chance to come back and appeal it. When they appeal it, it goes to planning and zoning. Planning and zoning says yes or no, they send it to us, we say yes or no. Just like 200 Back Mesa Drive, we've already denied that appeal and nothing's happened. But we're gonna get on that one soon. Okay, and that's the way the process works, Eddie, just so you
Well,
know.
I was just reading where it said
Yeah.
that they were gonna do it. In that case, I make a motion that we do the demolition of 14-1476.
Second, Councilor Quintana?
Yes.
Councilor Sandoval?
Yes.
Councilor Dickens?
Yes.
Councilor Lewis?
Yes.
Cool. Last one, the speed bump process, Paul.
Speed bump
Talk to
process,
us, brother.
okay, so the speed bump process, the process that we want to go through is, first of all, there won't be any of our collector streets or arterial streets that will be eligible for speed humps on them. Or, primary routes that our emergency vehicles use to get to different areas of town. Those streets won't be eligible for speed humps. The process will basically be, the requesting area will need to contact the planning and zoning and code enforcement, and then they will need to sign a petition in the area. That petition will need to be signed by 70% of
I think
the
that's a little high.
residents. You think that's high?
I think that's a
Okay.
little high. I'd like to see it go more along about 65%.
65, okay.
Is that good with the council?
I had it at,
I think
I had it at
60,
60.
I even agree 60 would even.
Okay, I had it at
That's what you say,
67
Ruben?
and then we rounded it up, but.
Yeah, Ruben says 60, I agree with 60. How about you?
65%.
65, how about you?
I think 2/3, you had it right the first time, 67.
Yeah, I think, okay.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 people is what you're saying? You
Yeah,
need to have it.
67, or 65 if you do.
65.
65? You good with 65? I like 62.
I like 60.
What about you?
60.
But you have to define, I think you have to define how much difference from that speed hump on both ways. How far are you looking to get 60%, 65%?
Well, it'll be the people that live on that street.
Yeah, so you figure there's 20 homes on one street.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get at least 12 to 15 of them to,
Yeah,
Great.
as an
60%
example,
you
if you take Franciscan Street, which is a fairly long residential street, it would have to be 60% of all those that reside on that street.
And I agree with 60%, but I say 65 is a little high.
But what's the difference? What's the footage from the speed hump itself, both ways?
Yeah, when you say a street like High Street, that goes all the way across
Yeah,
town.
you have to define the distance from the speed hump itself to get to 60%.
I would say, well, like for instance, Balsam, on the lower end of
Well,
Balsam, you would have to go from the stop sign to the stop sign. And then the next time, the stop sign up would be the next, that's a good question.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, what,
That's a good question.
Yeah, we've only looked at it by the streets because I don't know. Let me think about that. Yeah,
Like Stevens
I
Street.
understand what you said on a street that may be divided by a stop sign.
Yeah.
As, for instance, like Clovis, where you have the lower and the upper end.
Yes.
Yeah, I would define that as, stop sign, yeah, and it'd be
It'd
the
be like,
people in
like
there.
the 600 block, boom.
Yeah, okay.
700 block.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So I'll need approval to you of what the percentage is, and then I can add language in for that to cover stop sign to stop sign block or area, stop sign to
It's
stop.
just like you said, lower end of Clovis, you've
Yeah.
got the 600 block, the 700 block, the 800 block. Well, if we're putting one in the 600 block, it doesn't affect the 700 and the 800 block, so we don't need theirs.
Right, yeah, because they're not skipping that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be the blocks.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, in
So
that,
it'd be the
yeah,
block.
yeah, like an example
The
being
800
Clovis where you have 600, 700, 800 blocks, it would just,
Be the one
we'll
block.
add some language in there to cover that.
Yeah,
So it'll
anytime there's a
be for stop sign to stop sign, so the people that go in from, basically come in from an arterial street or collector street into that neighborhood, or block, or that street.
And a stop sign is kind of a built-in speed bump anyway.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
You know, we might consider that sometimes instead of.
And on a long street, like, for instance, Chaco where you live, those ones, if they requested on that street, then we would be looking at probably putting 2 speed bumps on a
Right,
longer
and-
street like that.
And that being
Like
said,
Sergeant.
Mike, you just brought up a valid point. On my street, on Chaco, back, I can't remember, probably before I was on the council, I requested speed bumps to be placed. Now, where they place them, and I think Jamie can recall, she's got one pretty close to her house where maybe 50 feet from there, maybe 100 feet, I should say, the stop sign's right ahead, so there's no reason for us to have that one there. The placement that they did with these was, I think they just put them just to put them. I mean,
Yeah, and that's,
I don't think they're actually by any type of policy, procedure,
yeah.
whatever, that, or guideline that they needed to follow.
Recommendations,
Yes,
yeah.
it was just recommendations, and we need to check into that.
right, and that's one of,
Just like
and that's
one
one of
on Elm
the,
Street,
one
right
of the
there by the.
procedures that we have in here, is that once it's approved and things, then it will be, then we'll get with the street department
And
to
ensure that it can be
determine
allowed there.
where they're gonna be allowed, and
Yeah.
with the street department will determine, what type of speed bump will go there and where it will be located.
Sure.
Taking into account, things like curves, stop signs, these types of things.
Paul, have you ever sent anybody to Albuquerque to look at their speed bumps?
Their speed bumps are exactly like the ones that we have on Mount Taylor Avenue.
They're, speed
The
bumps,
ones that go by Los Alamitos
They're
School.
bump, I mean, they're
They're
bumps.
exactly.
there's
exactly
several,
like that.
Albuquerque is real similar to us in that they have several different
Different
kinds,
kinds.
depending on what part of town you go in and
Most of
when
the
they
ones
were
I've
put
been
in.
on are nice and gradual going over, not these ones where you're driving over a curb.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eddie, we sent Manuel to training, and the bumps that we're making, yes, we did, and the bumps that we're making now are by state specification.
Yeah, they're.
Are they gonna change the ones by the
Okay.
Canyon? Those are really high, they are high.
Yeah, well, I had, who was I talking to the other day, and they told me that their car, no matter how fast they go over it, it hits bottom because it's high.
Yeah, they're
So
high.
we'll need to do something on those ones, especially on that road. Yeah,
Yeah, they're high.
yeah.
Okay, now back to the number. Michael and Ruben are saying 60, you two are saying 65. That means I'm gonna get the tie-breaking vote. I'm gonna go with 60.
We haven't voted.
Okay, well then let's go ahead and vote. For 60%. Michael,
Yes.
Ruben,
Yes.
Eddie,
No. For 60?
for 60%.
No.
No. Yes. I broke the tie, 60% passes.
Let's vote on the 67 first.
You did that. It doesn't matter, you're gonna vote yes, he's gonna vote yes, they're gonna vote no, they're gonna vote no, and I'm gonna vote no. So it's gonna be 60 no
On
matter.
that note, Paul, where are we at with that request on Franciscan? Did you get a request in your office?
We did, we got a request in the office, and we're holding those now pending the acceptance of this procedure.
Okay. And when I got that, I'm the one that got that request from one of the residents in that area, and there, I noticed that there was some signatures from Chaco.
Yeah, see, there's
So-
signatures from the other streets that have to come out of there. I also noticed on there, I just quickly glanced at it, there was also 2 or 3 different signatures that were from the same residents.
Same one.
Yeah, and so these ones, part of this procedure will be that
One
each
resident,
resident gets one
one signature.
signature. And then upon approval of it, it'll go back to planning and zoning once it's been reviewed and it meets the criterias and things. Then at that point, it'll be approved by it'll go to planning and zoning for approval, and then the speed bump then will be reviewed by the street department and public works code enforcement department to determine where they're gonna go. And, you know, and we're gonna stay with kind of a consistent size that we're doing now, and that's the type that we'll put in, unless it's near a school zone or something like that where a raised crosswalk is needed. And I met with Manuel this morning, and we're going to, I've asked him to purchase some reflective tape, reflective paint, to paint all these speed bumps with a reflective paint, so at night you can see them. I know a lot of people that live in town and travel these roads, they now know where they're at, but we get a lot of people that come in from out of town, and you don't see them at night, and you can hit those things and do damage to your vehicle.
Have you considered it might be cheaper to do the water-based paint with glass beads?
He talked about that with glass beads, and
You might want to do that as frequent as we have to paint them every year. That might be your more economical.
Okay, he mentioned that to me about doing it with the glass beads put in there and ordering it that way. So, right now it's too cold to paint those, it's not gonna stick, so it's gonna be a thing that we do.
In the summertime.
I'll probably be able to do it like February. I'd like to get it done as soon as possible. February, March.
What would the time period be from the time you put in a petition for this?
Well, it would only be depending on when the next planning and zoning meeting came up, so the longest period of time it would take would be a month.
It's not bad.
And I think it's needed in the city because of these problems with the speed humps.
I agree.
They're put in the wrong place. You know, if one
And I'm the one
person.
that started the speed bump program, Paul, and I agree wholeheartedly, brother.
And when they're put in, they're not put in the right place, they're built differently depending on who the street superintendent is at the time. And the other thing is if one person requested a speed bump, they go put it in without regard for anyone else that it affected. And so I think this is really needed. So with those changes, then you want to go ahead and approve the procedure?
Yes, I'm entertain a motion with those changes.
Is that fine?
I'm good with it.
I make a motion, we go ahead and proceed.
Second. Counselor Quintana?
Yes.
Counselor Sandoval? Yes. Counselor Dickens?
Yes.
Counselor Lewis?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, comments from the council. We're going to start with Councilman Lewis tonight.
I'd like to see some of these places where we previously attempted to condemn them, and they've gone into another gear and said, well, I want to make it a historic building. And then nothing happens on it for years while they're trying to make it a historic building. I think that's just a ploy to slow down our process of getting these pieces of junk torn down. And so I'd like to see some of that happen. And the other thing I'd like to talk about or be thinking about is getting that Roaring 20 sign down. Whoever owns it, if they don't do something with it in the next few years, or months, let's do something about that.
What do you say? No, say stand up, open your mouth, baby, identify yourself for the record and talk to
Jose
us.
Garcia, you need to leave that Roaring 20 sign up. We got a lot of visitors that come through the city of Grants, and I'm talking from all over the world. If you stop there and park right there for a while, you'll count dozens of them that come by. I think there's a lot of signs in our town that need to be put back up. There were supposed to be signs put away somewhere, the old neon signs and stuff, I don't know if they're still around, but I think they need to be put back up so that you can bring people from out of the community.
If I'm
from
correct,
traveling, you know,
I was to go on the river walk right down here.
somewhere, I know.
That little deal right there next to your place, Mike, they were supposed to have a neon park there, and all those signs were to go there. And I know Mike's not talking about tearing it down, he's talking about the city doing something with it, bringing it down here.
Cleaning it up.
Wherever.
It's not that it's there, it's what it looks like.
Well,
Did
either
I have a
way it
problem
looks like, we get a lot of people taking pictures. But, yeah, I agree that it needs to be fixed up, but the way you made it sound like you wanted to tear it down.
Yeah, no, that's not what we're trying to do here.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying things that look like that's not a classic antique. It's a beautiful sign that needs restoring. I'll say it that way.
Oh, that'll make sense.
Councilman Lewis, we do have a plan to Grants Main Street and economics, if I'm not mistaken. We are trying to start a neon sign at the park. And we are working on that, and we're trying to acquire all the neon signs that the city had taken off at one time, and we could find them. And we could possibly get a grant from the state to refurbish them, and then we can have a neon park. At that point, I think with the city and the county working together, if we can acquire those, I'm with you 100% about that sign. It needs to be brought, restored, but put at the neon park that we're trying to work on.
Can I make a suggestion, maybe that makes sense, now that you said that? You were gonna make a rock park at one time, that the city has a piece of property, actually, that might be considered for that purpose.
Where is it?
Down there by Harry's Garcia's garage.
Next to Harry Garcia's garage,
Where's that?
Santa Fe Avenue.
Right down there. on that
Central
west end of
Auto,
town.
over by the next bridge.
That lot east of Harry's is the city's lot.
Right before Canton.
So you have an empty lot right there.
Canton, there's that empty lot, there's Harry's, there's the empty lot, in the middle, that empty lot there.
Mrs. Bonadeo, am I right about that neon sign? We do have a place for it already? Is that, if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be over by,
Possibility.
the railroad department?
I don't think we've picked a place, but we've talked about that we need a place for the neon signs and that we need some kind of program to restore them. And I notice people are going to Tucumcari more than they're coming to Grants. And Tucumcari, they're really promoting their old hotels and their old signage. And so there are people that are traveling around. You see them all the time stopping on Santa Fe taking pictures of our old signs. And so they do need to be refurbished. So I don't know that we've picked this place, but we've talked about that we need to work on that.
Well, that just makes you aware that the city
Owns that property.
So does that sign belong to the property owner then? So we need to get in touch with him and get that sign up and, beautified basically, so we can
Yeah,
be proud of what we've got.
Yeah, I talked to him when they were in the process, when we were in the process of demolishing that building there, and talked to him at the time and asked him about that sign, and he said, that sign's for sale.
Oh, okay.
He did say that to us.
Maybe we wanna buy it.
Yeah.
The way it looks.
It's actually a good sign. One of the things we've talked about, I've talked with Eileen about it, and I also talked with, the county manager that was here before about it, is putting it up, and on the bottom part there, where it has that white board, put an electronic board on there to give, list events that the city and the county are having in town.
Is that all you had, Mike? Go ahead, Joe.
I was recently contracted by the University of New Mexico AAA magazine to photograph these signs in town. And they specifically, what they liked about them was the way they looked. And I understand AAA is, when they eventually get to writing their article, specifically states that they prefer that they be left in their natural state. I mean, like I said, I'm a camera guy, and I see people every day, taking pictures throughout the whole thing. That Roaring 20 sign, the way it is, if you were to refurbish it, you'd ruin it.
Maybe if we beautify the post, whatever it stands on, that kind of thing, make it look nice around there. I mean, don't mess with the sign, I'm with you.
Build a little park around it.
Sure.
So, there has been discussion about the neon signs and putting them in a park or restoring them. Another idea that has come about is restoring them and lighting them to their natural state in the place where they originally were, and creating a nighttime tour for people to come through, giving them an opportunity to stay here, because we want to recapture Route 66 as it used to be. We were at the Building Creative Communities Conference last week for New Mexico Economic Development Main Street, and there have been grants awarded to different places along 66 in the state to refurbish the signs. I know one of them that is going to be unveiled here fairly soon is the Whiting Brothers stations that are along I-40, and so that is a viable option. I would urge you to consider leaving them in their natural place and lighting them there on Route 66, and you know, Manuel and Joe are right, people come from all over and they take pictures of them. How much more awesome would it be to, you know, have them painted or restored to the original state? I don't know about the value of them, but if you're gonna light them and have something that is an attraction for people to come and see, we would like for them to look as they originally did when they were, you know, in their glory day. And that is also an economic driver to bring people to our community.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what,
that-
perfect, go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'm just saying, this is the direction I think we should be going.
Yeah, and I think a perfect example of this, I just thought of this, is that we have Grant's Cafe. They redid their sign and it looks beautiful. I mean, it's
And it
neat.
should
and
be
it's-
lit.
it-
It
and
should
it's-
be lit.
Yeah, exactly. It should be utilized, that way they can see it at nighttime. But they did a good job when they refurbished it. And I don't think they took any of the, according to, I know the owner personally, and they told me that they didn't do anything other than paint it and make it look nice. So,
Restored it to its original state.
Councilor Dickens.
Only thing I have to bring up, I want to commend Main Street for going around and doing all the cleanup and repainting that they've been doing around town in the area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Samuel.
you sure you want me to go?
Yes, sir. It's your turn, baby.
Chief, could you please come up? I have a few questions, and this is in regards to one of our most frequent flyer criminals that we have in our area, Mr. Patrick Landrum.
Yes, sir.
I got lots of research right here I did today. Now, I know you can't answer these questions.
I'll bet you can.
Well, hold on.
And you may not like his answers.
But I think what this ties into property
Yes, sir.
for the Department of Transportation, along with a lighting agreement that we have with the Department of Transportation for these mass lightings that we have on our interchanges. Now, since 2011, Mr. Lundrum was, he was arrested, dismissed by magistrate court back in 8/16/2011. Same thing, 5/14/2013, dismissed by magistrate court. 7/24/2013, dismissed by magistrate court. And these were all in burglary tools, non-residential burglary, criminal damage to property. List goes on, all the way up until the most recent incident that this gentleman was doing, which he's been hooking up to our mass lighting with a vehicle, with a chain, pulling all the wiring out of this lighting and selling it. So right now it's at magistrate court again.
Yes, sir.
Probably will get dismissed again. Why is this guy out on the streets? He's got a rap sheet all the way to 95.
I think we should be addressing this to the magistrate
Like
court.
I said, I was just gonna say.
No, and I know, this, what I'm saying is, what it's affecting at the city right now is it's affecting our insurance.
Absolutely.
We just replaced the mast lighting wiring at the exit 85 back in May.
Denise?
He did it again, now in November.
Yes, sir.
That last one, I have asked our city manager to get me a cost of what that cost us.
$142,000.
Was it 35,000?
Yeah, it's not that, it's not that much. It's gonna cost out at Acoma, at exit 102, $80,000 to get 20 lights
Right.
repaired. Now, I got the phone call in my office, and I'm in charge of loss control. Now, whoever responded out to go identify property out at exit 85, they told me it was gonna be the City of Grants Police Department. I don't know if you went out, chief?
I did
yourself?
not know.
Okay.
One of the officers went up.
Okay, so at that point, they caught him red-handed, didn't they?
Not at the 85. They caught him at the 81, I believe.
Okay, was it the 81?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 85, 81, it's still Grant City limits.
Yes, sir.
They caught him with a chain connected to his car,
To a wire.
to a wire,
Yes, sir.
and pulling it out, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, which he totally denied it and said that he Didn't even know the chain was there.
No, he said he was helping someone who, up by North Hills who got stuck.
Sure, well, he had it dragging behind his car, so.
Right.
Where is this gonna stop? I mean, I know you're right into you're doing a good job, we need to keep this guy behind bars. He is a resident. He keeps on getting out. Seems like we can't do anything with him. It's amazing, just if you look into this, I couldn't believe he's gone in front of Larry Diaz numerous times. He's gone in front of Jackie Fisher numerous times, and it's all been dismissed.
How does that happen?
Manuel Lujan even dismissed him. Who was the other magistrate court? Court judge, it's sickening. And now, it's affecting the city of Grants, and we don't have to, it's gonna just raise our premiums on our insurances,
I
for that.
understand that, yes, sir. All I can tell you is that we really drive hard. I mean, I got the guys out there, I think I got 86% of my staff working at night. I only have 2 guys working during the day in addition to me and the lieutenant. And we're patrolling as much as we possibly can. Like you said, the guy got caught red-handed. One of the sheriff's deputies drove by, caught him, witnessed it. He hasn't gotten out yet. We are in the process of doing some interviews. I don't want to go into all the details, but we're trying to tie him to other ones. But it's just, I can't answer for the judges.
No, and I know you can't.
Right. I mean,
All I'm saying is on this patrol log that I pulled off of the Cibola Beacon, cops in crime, seems like we keep on pulling him over, finding that he has arrest warrants on him. This was before your time, okay? And it just seems like it's a continuous rap sheet. He's back out on the street. January 26th, we got him. January 27th, January 29th, February 17th, March 20th. All on warrants, bench warrants.
all I can tell you, Counselor, is that we know what he drives, and I told him to
Why can't we keep him behind bars? I mean, if we caught him,
I knew you were gonna like his answer.
you know what, he's gonna, it's the point where he's going after, seems like he's just got a thing for copper wire, and eventually he's gonna start hitting our homes, and that's all said and done.
There's numerous places that copper wire is missing from. It's just a matter of proving it. Like
And
I
I'm
said,
not on your case for this, I just wanna bring it to your attention,
Oh, I
because I think the
understand.
media needs to be aware of this, so we can get it out, get the word out,
Right.
that we're after this guy, and we need to get him, and put him where he belongs.
Well, Michael, we've got him a few different times.
Well, we're not holding on to him.
Getting him, it doesn't seem to be the problem.
I think it's pretty obvious where the problem is.
On that note, thank you, Craig.
Yes, sir.
And I'll talk to you after the meeting. On that note, Denise,
Thank you,
see what you can do to get me in contact with Susana Martinez. Get with her staff, get whatever it takes for me to speak to Susana on the phone about our judges' placements. Because she's gonna appoint a judge here, and we definitely need to talk to her about that position. Before she appoints someone that keeps letting these people out.
Yeah. And it says it on here. I mean, it says
Yeah,
that,
it says who's releasing
says who's releasing them.
And
Those are the names that need to be
And
publicized.
that's what we're going to talk to
That's
Susanna.
sad.
So please, between you and Denise, get me some kind of contact with Susanna or her public relations officer, whatever it takes, because I need to speak to that woman about this judge that we're put in place. My second comment, Veterans Day, I've already brought it up. We will do a party next year for Veterans Day here at the Fire and Ice Park.
Under a new tent.
Yes, okay. The second thing that I have, this one's for you, Paul. The Traco, I believe it's back in MOC. Before we start this salt cedar removal, we've got manual pricing a thumb bucket now. Get that thing in there at the head of the Nimitz Bridge and get that sandbar out. with that water drained out.
The Village of Milan asked to use it for a few days also.
Tell them they gotta wait till we're done.
Because they wait, you wanna start that right
Yeah,
away?
I want that sandbar cleaned out, because right now we got standing water back up that one line that goes to Sergeant. And when we get that sandbar out, it'll drain back out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the one down at at Hannishit.
Okay.
Get that sandbar on both sides of the
The
Nimitz.
Nimitz.
And just stack it up. Don't spread it out, just stack it up, and then when it dries, we'll haul it off.
Okay.
So just have them pull that sandbar out and just put it in a pile. I've already spoke to Ronnie Pines, he's good with it. And then we'll haul it out as soon as it dries.
Okay.
March, whenever it dries.
All right.
Okay? The last thing I have is for you, Laura. Uniforms. I want our people in city uniforms. This crap of giving them $500 a year to wear whatever they want to work does not fly no more. I want that process stopped. And I want these people issued shirts that say City of Grants with their name. Steel toe boots, not tennis shoes if they work on the road department, stuff like that, the maintenance shop, all of them. And one more thing that I want us all to think about as we go forward, that mechanic shop, guys. We might want to look at just shutting that sucker down and start farming that out, okay? Farming all that work out.
On that note,
I know, that's my whole point.
where you mentioned, I want to back up a little bit where you said about uniforms. Now, with the state, they give them the option to either give them the option to wear uniforms, okay, or they have to wear that's approved, okay, clothing that's approved. Now, personal protective equipment, such as steel toe boots, that is a requirement that needs to be put in place. If you're given an allowance, boot allowance, clothing allowance kind of thing, you need to utilize that.
Do we have that?
What we do right now, guys, is we give them $250 in January and $250 in July, and they go buy whatever they want, and that's what they wear to work. That's dead. I want them wearing City of Grants shirts. I want them all looking exactly alike. They can wear Wrangler jeans because they are the best ones that last the longest time, those Levi's.
Well, even
The
the
ones that
uniform
they used to give
places
us-
supply those.
Yeah, the ones that they give us at the Solid Waste Authority. Those pants last forever. I mean, you gotta wash them 100 times before they even get unstiff. Okay? Put our people in uniform. This crap of these guys walking around here looking like whatever has got to stop.
Yeah, we've already got some quotes on that, so we can start working on it.
And that's all the things that I had, guys, and on that note, thank you all for coming. I will entertain a motion to close this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Have a good night, guys.